Hello and welcome to Instant Funding Interview Series. My name is Tommy. In this series, we invite traders to share their story, their trading secrets, and advice to beginners. Today we have with us Manuel Bueno. Welcome, Manuel. How are you today?
Good morning. Good morning. I'm doing great. Thank you. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Likewise. Looking forward to hearing your story, your journey, maybe some tips and tricks, how you managed to get so much success. A bit of background about Manuel. He's one of the most successful traders. He's had 13 successful payouts on instant funding and over 7,100 in profit across 3 accounts. He has only been with us for a few months. He joined in September, right?
Correct.
Last year. And we'll discuss other stuff as we go. So where are you from, Manuel?
I'm from the United States, New York specifically. 31, born and raised New York.
Nice. I've never been, but it would be great to visit one time.
Yeah, definitely a nice place to visit.
So please, why don't you please share a bit about yourself, your journey, like how did you start trading, how long have you been trading, and how your experience has been so far with instant funding.
Okay. Yeah. I'm currently 31 years old. Have two kids, married, wife, and I'm currently going through my fifth year in trading. About halfway right now. It's so 4 full years, half a year now. And I first came across the forex industry back in 2019, like summer 2019. At a prior job I was at, I had a younger kid. He told me about forex. He's like, "Oh, you ever heard about forex?" Da 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 da. And I was not, what's that? I was curious. Always had the mindset to kind of look for more, look for better. I just didn't know how. I didn't know what vehicle. So he told me about it. He briefly explained to me. He told me to download the MetaTrader app. I opened a demo account and I started just opening positions, point zero 0.01, point zero 0.02s, and I made probably like $1 or two on the demo account. And that dollar, it changed my life because I was like, wow, like you can make money off of your phone. Like I've never ever heard of this. Like this is crazy. So I just kept playing with the demo account, and around the same time, I won a free mentorship with a YouTube trader, a month mentorship for his course and stuff like that. So I ended up taking that course for a month, went through it, studied it, and I kept playing with the demo accounts. And I had a friend who was a part of network marketing, and I knew what network marketing was, so I wasn't interested in it. I was like, oh, I'm gonna figure this out by myself, and I was going through the course, and I put up a couple $100 in a live account. Obviously, instantly blew it and stuff like that because it's not the same. So I ended up hitting my friend up. I was like, hey, and I was kind of interested in the network marketing side as well. I'm like, hey, I want to join. I want to join the network marketing company. I'm interested. So I joined, and I spent a couple months with them with their Telegram chat. Taking signals and their courses per se, and it opened up the thought process to personal development, and I realized that personal development and trading go hand in hand. So I started with them. I was trading support and resistance, taking signals. But in that Telegram chat, we were all in the same trade, and somebody posted that same trade but a different entry. He had a wick entry, a sniper entry.
So can you explain a little bit about these concepts you mentioned, support and resistance, and the wicks for our beginner traders, so they can be in the loop?
Yep. So support and resistance is a strategy, you can call it. It's an area where price is looking to bounce. Technically, your floor or your ceiling in price. There's spots where price just won't break through, and whether that's a floor or ceiling, that's your support and resistance, which is probably your 90% of 100% chance probably that if you learned about trading, you go on YouTube, you search up a couple videos. That's the first thing you learn: your trend lines, Fibonacci, and stuff like that. And the wick is when price goes somewhere and it quickly leaves that. So there's no body in the candle. It ends up just making a wick in price. So I saw that in the chat, and it looked beautiful. Just the entry was at the wick, price dropped, 50 pips. It looked phenomenal. So I privately messaged the guy. I was like, hey, I'm like, yo, your entry is beautiful, bro. I'm like, how'd you do that? And he's like, oh, there's these educators in network marketing in the company, and he told me all their names and like what, because that network marketing company is kind of they had like a TV guide per se. So there was like certain times, it was certain educators, they had a schedule, but a lot of people didn't use it because obviously it was like a network marketing company, and most people were interested in the network marketing side. I entered the company specifically interested in learning how to trade. That was my mindset. I dabbled with the network marketing, but that wasn't really my intention. So I came across the guy. He told me I go to these educators, and this is December 2019, and I start going on their classes. I like what they talk about. I like what they teach, and they actually had what they called a sniper boot camp, about probably like 40, 50 hours of video stuff. And from their concepts of how they trade from beginning to end. So December 2019, I end up going through that boot camp, and a lot of it was risk to reward stuff. Learning how to take 3 to 1s, 4 to 1s, 5 to 1s, and stuff like that. And I ended up going through that boot camp. I kind of unlearned I had to unlearn all the support resistance, the Fibonacci, because it wasn't really used in this concept.
Mm-hmm.
So I went through that boot camp, and 2020, literally January, was when I intentionally started trading live, and and I started trading live, and since 2020 January, I've been live trading, prop firm trading,
Mm-hmm.
and it to now with the same ideology, same kind of concepts.
Mm-hmm. And what kind of trader are you? How risky are you now, and how do you how would you describe your style?
Um, I specifically trade indices now, or futures, or however you want to consider it. Nas 100 to be specific. So Nas indices, they just move so fast. You can get 60, 100 points in a couple minutes. So I would consider myself a scalper per se, just because 60 points can happen in a minute and you can leave the market. But a scalper slash intraday, depending on how you look at it. But I trade specifically indices. Um, Now, fast forward, a lot of it is I approach it a lot of on a day to day basis. Some days I may feel a little riskier than others. Some day I kind of, it's all a lot of it is mood based for me, risk wise, in a sense of 1%. Maybe I would risk 2% on a position, stuff like that. So a lot of it is intuition based.
Okay, that sounds like You're living the trader lifestyle, right? Do you trade? How many hours a day do you think you spend on this?
So I currently I have a full time job. I've been working since I've been trading, and I there was a pivot last year specifically. Kind of I started instant fund in September. I lost a couple accounts in the process. I believe November. So I spent about two accounts I blew October like Novemberish if I'm not mistaken. I ended up getting the actual live account, and I traded November, December, and that's kind of November till now is kind of where I started with the payout habit. So no, wrapping up last year. Last year I could say it was about a break even year. You can say losses, couple payouts here and there, so about break even. But I was exhausted mentally, which leads to physically, because now I have the same trading plan that I've had last year, even the year before that. I just I had a hard time following it. I can follow it 90%, but there was one day where I didn't follow a step of it, and then that one day would just mess everything up. And I've had a bad habit of holding losers. So when holding losers, you're 100 points in drawdown, and you're just staring at the chart, staring at your phone 5 hours, just praying for price to come back. I just want to get out. Oh, please, I promise this will never happen again. And that, and it was just last year was just it was a repetitive circle of it. And I had a really deep dive with wrapping up last year, and I had to get serious about what my bad habits were, because my bad habits was what was holding me back. So now I trade on New York Stock Exchange Open. So around 8:30, 9 o'clock, I'm specifically looking at charts, looking for possible positions. And on a perfect day, I'm completely out of the market by like 10 a.m. So about an hour. Sometimes it might stretch 11 noon, but when I open a position, I'm pretty much not babysitting it too much. I'm looking at the charts, but I'm not staring at my chart, and I'm looking to get out as quick as possible, because last year the markets just caused me a lot of pain, and I'm grateful for it. I love the markets. I understand what I'm doing, but I changed my mindset on it, where I wanna get here. I want to try and find the best possible opportunity, and I want to get out. I want to go on about my day, because I was just obsessed with the charts and obsessed with losing positions, and I was just beat up, Tommy. I was just tired, and so I approached it differently. So this year has been completely different for me. I've had weight off my shoulders. I'm not beat up. I'm looking at the markets for what they are. They're supposed to ideally, give us a move. Ideally, we can make some money off of it, and then I'm out of there. I'm go about my day. Gonna go find a movie, a podcast, or something, and I'm gonna enjoy life, because you take those days, those bad days, you take them home, and then your kids, they get like this version of you where it's like, oh, like that's kind of sad today, like. And I was over it. I was tired of it.
Hmm. So, what do you say? What do you think shifted? You say you've become more calm. Yeah, you're like less emotionally responsive. You just stick to your plan.
Yeah, yeah. So I started my year, my specifically like year going into this year. I wanted to focus on withdrawals, on keeping my money, because I've had the nothing has changed chart wise for me. I have a trading circle, a couple friends,
Hmm.
um, and I've told them the same thing, because I'm the eldest of them, and I'm like, listen, guys, I'm like, the chart, we've put hours and hours and hours and hours into chart, into analysis. Like, there's nothing much more we have to learn on the charts. Like, we're great. I'm a great analyst. even a great trader per se. But my biggest downfall was my mindset, and whether that be an emotion, greed, over trading, or just keeping my profits. I've always been able to fund up an account. When live trading on a personal broker, I've been always been able to fund up account. I've always been able to be profitable, 100%, 200% on account. But I've never ever taken out the money.
Mm-hmm.
I always keep it in there, and then now I got I started with $200. Now I have 400. Now I'm gonna risk all the profits. Then I'm back to 200, and I was like, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna just keep holding this position, and then you blow the account. Then you blow the account, and it's just so I've I've always been able to be profitable account wise.
Mm-hmm.
I've just never taken it out. I've never taken it out.
Mm.
So that was my intention, with instant funding, specifically because of the weekly payouts. After the biweekly, I've been, let me get through the biweekly. You unlock the weekly payouts, and my goal, if possible, but my goal is every week I want to pay out. That's my goal. Every week a payout. Every week a payout. And I have a 20K account with instant funding, so it's not the biggest, but in my mind, it's a 200K account. It's a 300K account, and
Mm-hmm.
I've developed the habit and the mindset of percentages right now. And when I make a 2% day, let's say, in my head, since it's this 200K account, wow, I just made 4 grand. Wow, man, I can't believe it. It's really, I just made $400, but in my mind, it's because 2% is 2%.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually we'll get the capital, but I wanted to develop that percentage habit of 2%. Oh yeah, no, that's good enough. I'll wait for my payout. Then 3% for the week. Oh yeah, I'll wait for my payout. Even as low as 2%, I've taken out a payout before, because I really want to ingrain that in my brain, where it's percentages.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, it's a huge account, and 2%. If I was up $4,000 for the week, I would not want to trade anymore, and I wouldn't be looking for more positions, more pips, more. That's it. I'm done. So that's been the biggest difference for me, in just intentionally keeping my profits, because that's been my biggest downfall. And I sat down with myself and my bad habits, and that was it. Because I'm confident in myself. I've done many prop firms. I've passed challenges, 50Ks, 100Ks, payouts, but always lose them.
Mm-hmm.
Always lose them. Always, and always comes back to the same thing. So I feel that's been my biggest shift thus far this year. A payout. We're halfway through the year. I've had a payout almost every single week, and it's not a lot, but to me, it's made a difference.
Mm-hmm.
It can be even, like I said, I work full time. It can even be a week's worth of pay. Just off of 2 hours on the charts. So it's been mindset. It's been mindset for me, and I just had to stop being greedy and thinking about Ferraris and Lamborghinis and houses, and I had to get it out of my head. And a $400 payout. That's a nice activities with the family, dinners, car note, gas, whatever it could be. I had to really, and I had to really make what I was doing profitable and actually work for me. To actually reap the rewards. And I decided to start small, and that's what's been working for me. That's been, and in the future, we'll acquire more capital, and we'll have that mindset of 2%, 3%, and it will actually make a difference. Coming up this year, hopefully.
Yeah, that's cool. Well, really glad to hear you're doing well. And um, so, how do you think people can, especially beginner traders, like dealing with this kind of stuff? Like, because you never know where the market's going to go, right? Nobody knows.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
if you have a system that takes into account like this volatility, like within the day, let's say, um, like Bitcoin is the obvious one, like it's always going up and down.
yeah.
So how do you like maximize the um, the the profit from that, from those swings,
Yeah.
without like expecting too much. Like when you tie to those, when you too like attached to those thoughts about
Yeah.
gaining big, making a lot of money fast, that's kind of like what actually prevents people from getting there, right?
Yeah.
Because
$100%.
if you have access to like a $20,000 account, you can make a lot of money pretty fast. But if you're risking too
Yeah.
much, like let's say using too much leverage, right, and not like managing your money too well, um, how do you think? What do you think changed? Just like experience, just your situation, or like is there any advice you could give to
Yeah,
traders?
I think I haven't met many traders that haven't fell on their face for either months or years, whatever you want to call it. You know, there's I'm sure there's some. I personally never came across, but there's the only way you're gonna figure it out is through trial and error, and you have to hit rock bottom in this field a couple times. You know, you just I've been I'm very big on market psychology. It's different now because now I've kind of been into it in from a winning position. You know, usually after blowing accounts, you know, you kind of go back and you go to Mark Douglas and Trading in the Zone, and you go to these books and to these podcasts. And I spent many hours on market psychology, and it's it's been different. It's been different now because it's been trial and you come up with your trading plan through trial and error, whether that's time, whether that's risk to reward, whether that's how much percent you're willing to lose for a day, or if you're up a certain amount of percentage, and so I started with like the 3-to-1 mindset, 4-to-1 mindset, you know, the risk to reward. But today, presently, that has shifted. I'm looking for a 2-to-1, a 1-to-1, because going going through the trial and errors, you know, when let's say, like I said, Nas 100, let's say I'm up 80 points, 1% in profit. Let's keep it simple. And you know, oh, I want 2%. I want 2%. You know, I'm gonna hold it. You know, it looks good. Then price reverses, whether that's break even, stop loss. For me personally, it would hurt me too much because, like, man, 1%. I should have took it. Could have took my 1%. I could have came back tomorrow and, you know, go get it. But when I would do that, it would hurt me because now I'm chasing a trade. I either want to make my 1% back. I either want to, whether that's break even or loss, and then I take a trade. Now I'm on the wrong side of the trade, and I was like, man, I should have just called it a day. I should have not traded at all. Now I'm in this losing trade, and now I'm beating myself up. Damn, man, you're so dumb. Oh, you should have called it a day. Oh, you were up 1%. Why didn't you take it? Oh, 1% is 4 hours of work. Oh, this, and you just beat yourself up and you beat yourself up, and it wasn't working for me. So I've realized, for me personally, you know, if I'm up 1%, 1.5%, it's a spectacular day for me because in my head that's a 200K account. 1% is $2,000, and you know, 1%, I'm happy. And you have to fall on your face. You have to fall on your face, and you need to be honest with yourself. And you really need to. What works for me, what works for you, is not going to work for somebody else. And you have to really see how many times you failed. If you can back test, you know, your strategy, and be confident in it. Ultimately, that's what it comes down to. Being confident. You know, you can't avoid the losing days. Losing days are gonna happen. They're it's repetitive. Everybody says it, but it's trading is a series of wins and losses. You never know when the loss is gonna be. You never know when the win is gonna be, and you have to just accept the risk or stay out the mix. This it's simple, chart wise, you know, trading wise, but is very hard personally wise when it comes to your mind. And a lot of us, the way we've been programmed, you know, the way we think about money, the way the way we think about society even and stuff like that, and it can be our downfall, and you really need to deep dive. And I think market psychology is the best. um, I had a book that I read multiple times, the mental game of trading, by I forgot his name, but it's a great book. And one of the one things that I forgot his name. I wish I remember his name. But he talks about your A game, your B game, and your C game. Your A game being the best things of your trading, whether that's entry, whether that's patience, whether whatever, and your C game being the worst part, whether that's holding losers, over trading. And if you can improve your C game, if you can eliminate C game stuff, then you end up with the good parts of your trading. And that's made a big difference for me, because like I said, my C game of my trading has been holding losers, and I don't really hold losers anymore. The market is like an abusive girlfriend. She can you can be in the market and she'll beat you up, and she'll beat you up, and you come back the next day. I forgive you, baby. I love you. Let's try it again. And that's the way it's been. And now we're in a good relationship. It's not abusive anymore. I love her, she loves me, and we're doing good.
Nice, nice. Glad to hear. And what's C game? It's like I have it up here. It's Jared Tendler, right? Wrote this book,
Yeah,
The
Jared
Mental
Tendler.
Game.
Yep, the mental game of trading. Yep, yep,
And
yep.
C game is like some bad habits that people have, right?
Yes, C game is the worst part of your trading, specifically your bad habits. Whether that's entering too early, entering too late, entering, even I used to do sell limits and buy limits, or a specific area where I wanted price to go to. If I waited for price to get there, I could have a 3-to-1, but I would be impatient, and oh, I'm gonna take it now because I had fear of missing the trade. And then price, then you're in drawdown. Price goes to your original idea, and then now you're beating yourself up. Oh man, now I'm in drawdown, and then your trade ends up working, or but you maybe close it, or you maybe you turned it into a loser. And then you look at your position thinking, oh, if I just would have waited, like my trade worked out to perfection. But yeah, your C game is the worst part of your trading. And if you could improve that, even eliminate the C part, then your A game gets better, your B game gets better, and then your C game becomes less of the bad stuff.
Hmm. And you focus more on technical analysis, right? Or do you try
Yeah,
to?
technical analysis. I look at news, but not really on a fundamental per se. News. The way I was taught is news is an excuse. So news is either gonna drive price up or bring it down, and it's either going to go in a certain direction, whether a liquidity sweep, you're looking to stop out retail traders per se, as they may call it. And so I trade news sometimes, nah, not always, but yeah, it's all technical. If I know there's news, I think, oh, maybe when news comes out, it's gonna go all the way up here, and then I'll look for some type of confirmation, to write it down, to take it up, stuff like that.
You're still connected to the graph and how
Yeah,
you expect it to have. If something
yeah,
if something positive happens, you expect it to go this much. If something negative happens, right?
yeah, correct. But I don't really know the fundamental base. I'm just thinking what news can do.
Yeah, yeah. And there's also a lot of
Hmm.
market manipulation, isn't there? Like, I heard
Correct.
there's like 90 to even 98% is done by bots these days. So it's not so much about trying to predict where it will go, but just kind of taking
Yeah.
advantage of those swings
Yep.
themselves, right? Yeah,
Yep.
when it
You
does happen.
wanna, as one of my friends says, you wanna ride with the big players.
Yeah.
You wanna there's because we're little guys in here. We're not the big guys in here. So we try and adopt how they think, or the concept of maybe where they have open positions or where they're in drawdown and stuff like that. And hopefully we're right, and we ride the move with them.
Hmm.
And that's all we could do.
Yeah, and do you also think about like what the big guys expect small guys to do, and like all that manipulation that happens, like when they kind of
Yeah,
because they can manipulate the graph in any way, and they can show
yeah,
you uh, the break of resistance, right? So you think it's going
yep,
up, and only to then like cut off people's um, like stop losses and all that
yep,
stuff.
yep.
Um, like a lot of liquidations are done on purpose.
Correct.
And do you kind of keep that in mind when you trade? That
Yeah, yeah. About almost all the time, I keep that in mind. Whether it's a move up, a move down, I try. You got to have confidence in your analysis. Obviously, we don't know what market is gonna do. We can be wrong, but you've seen enough patterns and enough price action to know that this might happen. It's like playing a sport. Like if you play basketball, if you miss a shot, it's okay. I know I
Yeah.
can make the shot. Give me the ball back. I'll take the shot again because I've made it so many times. I know I could do it. I missed this time. It's okay, but that doesn't mean we lost the game. That doesn't mean I'm a bad basketball player. I suck. I missed. So let's try again. Give me the ball back. I practice the shot all the time. I know I can make it, and that's I take that into trading and manipulation wise. I may think, oh look, everybody's here. Everybody's up here. These people, they're greedy. They don't want to take their profit. They want more. Maybe they'll do this, and let's stop those guys out because they were greedy, and let's go against them. And like I try and pretend I'm one of those guys, and it helps. It helps. Like I said, you spend enough hours on the charts, you kind of know what you're looking for, and you see patterns that have happened before, and we want to capitalize off the stuff we've seen before, and hopefully we're right.
Hmm. Hopefully we are. Well,
Yeah, yeah,
would you like to share some of your share your dashboard?
yeah, sure.
Would like to see some of the stuff that's going on there, and if you could explain um, explain your some of your trades, maybe some of your successful trades.
Here we got the dashboard. Have had a couple accounts, whether that's breached or active. But
How many accounts have you had so far?
I currently one, two, three, four, five, six with the one I currently have.
Hmm.
I've had about three of these probably have been breached accounts, and then even four maybe. Then now the DX trade account.
Hmm.
But if you see here, you see instant funding pays out. I understand why people feel that way. It's happened, but instant funding pays out. So I have a 20K account. So 5%, 1.5%, 1.5%, 5%,
Hmm.
2.5%, and that's 5%, 5%. So overall on 20K account, I've probably about like 30%, 35% in profit, probably something like that.
Hmm.
And all of these have been successful payouts with instant funding. Instant funding is great, is legit. Customer service phenomenal, and the the news rule was kind of scary a little bit at first. But it hasn't made a difference in the trade in. I'm confident with instant funding. If I'm in profit, I know I'll get my payout, and I know I can reach you guys, and you guys quick replies, Discord. Is it feels good to know that you're with a prop firm that cares.
That's great to hear, and great to see you're doing well. So overall, you're in profit, right?
Yes. Thank the Lord. All
Nice,
praises.
nice, nice.
Yeah, it's been very very different this year, and I'm super grateful.
And what happens with a breached account if you lose too much? It closes, yeah, but
So
then you can
my
try again.
yeah, so my the account that I've had this whole year, I actually I ended up breaching that account about about 2 weeks ago,
Hmm.
and I purchased a new account. There's where is it at home? I think you can see it. I ended up purchasing a new account. I didn't beat myself up because I knew I was in profit for the year. I've got a lot of payouts. I've been in profit. I what ended up I had was I think like 8% in profit, something like that. And I took out 5% and I left 3% of my profit in there. And I ended up I'm like, oh, you know what? I'm in profit. I'm gonna risk my 3% profit on this account. And I did that, and it didn't work out. And when I was in the losing position, I started, what I told you earlier. I started beating myself up. Oh man, you're so dumb, Manny. You should have just took your 3% profit. That's $500. And I ended up holding it, and I went into some drawdown, and then I came back the next day, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just do it. And if I breach it, I'll just purchase another one. And that's what did. I ended up breaching it. I purchased this new one May 16th, because again, it's confidence.
Hmm.
5%. All these prop firms, is 8%, 5%, 10%, and I've chopped it down to 5% for me because of instant funding. That's when your drawdown locks in, and I can make 5%. I I can. I know 100. We go back to the basketball shot. I know I can make 5%.
Yeah,
So we purchased this account. I'm about $40 short of 5%. So I'm gonna look to secure that, get my payout, and then we're go right back to weekly payouts again. And we're right back on track, back on schedule. But it's all because of confidence. You have to believe in yourself.
nice. What do you do to increase your confidence? Do you keep learning these days?
Um, to be honest with you, I've been relaxing this year. A little. I might come across like a market psychology podcast or something like that. Not as much as last year. If I spent 100 hours on market psychology last year, I've spent maybe like 10 this year. Because usually after a big losing day, you get loser clarity, and then oh, what am I doing wrong? Let me go to YouTube. Let me find some podcasts. So since I haven't been losing, and I haven't been too reckless with what I've been doing, and I've been relaxing. I haven't been learning too much on the charts this year. I'm kind of just I've been reaping my hard work for the last 4 years.
Hmm.
So nothing too crazy this year. Like I said, I'm in and out of the market, and then I wanna go do anything but be in a position.
Great to hear your testimonial. It's like very inspiring. I'm sure it's inspiring for people that are looking to get into trading and maybe trade
Yeah,
with instant funding.
hope
So
so.
what advice would you give to beginner traders to get to where you are faster
Um,
without getting into too much of those like beating yourself up,
yep,
because it's like seems like we're our own enemies. The candles just keep going up and down, and you can always work out a way to make some money, but there's something silly in our brain that just gets in the way, right? It's like we're
yep,
fighting ourselves more than the market.
100%, 100%. I just you gotta one is just charts. It's just candles. You gotta love yourself. You gotta know that you're important. I'm special. I know what I'm doing, and you can't let just candles make you feel like you're worthless. Whether that I've gone through. depression and sadness and breached accounts and I don't want to talk to nobody, and it's just candles. Like, why are you allowing candles to do that to you? Like, are you, it's silly if you really think about it. But my advice is to know what you're signing up for. There's and you because what is I think it's like 90%, 95% traders fail.
Yeah.
Something probably even more. And knowing that, you have to know what you're signing up for, and you need to think long term. Forget the Ferraris, forget the Lamborghinis, forget all of that, and make it practical. Because a $200 payout, what country you're in, or if you have a job, it's something. And I used to be grateful for that, a $200 day. But you start messing with the prop firms, and now you have 100Ks, and now you only want $1,000 days, $2,000 days.
Hmm.
But sometimes you're not ready for it. Playing with those big accounts and seeing, even if it's demo money, that you're in drawdown $2,000, $3,000. It's a whole different world. And even now, I've tried it. I've had them before, but I don't want to see negative 2,000, negative $3,000 right now. It does something to your brain, and you have to know what you're signing up for.
Hmm.
You're gonna fall, and my friends always tell me, like, I don't know how you do it, because I could breach account on a Friday, Monday I have a brand new account. Let's try it again. 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 I've lost many, many, many accounts, but I know it's possible. I've
Hmm.
seen other people do it. I've seen what other people can do, and you just have to have the confidence in yourself, and you need to remember, this is a long-term thing. My son, my youngest kid, my son is 4. I think about him when he's in middle school, even high school, and I don't even think about now, the difference that can make 5 years from now, 10 years from now. And I've one brick at a time, one brick at a time. It's like going to the gym. If you're eating healthy, you're working out, you're drinking water, maybe you won't see the results 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. But you know what? You're doing everything right. You're doing and eventually, whether that's a year, whether that's 2 years, if you keep doing the same thing, you keep improving 1%, 1% a day. That's my motto. Whether that one book a day, one podcast a day, one journal entry a day, one something to be better than yesterday, 1% a day, and it'll add up. One We have a saying here in the States. I don't One brick at a time makes a brick wall.
Hmm.
You want to make a brick wall, you can't put all 50 bricks at the same time. It's one at a time, one at a time. So one brick every day. Eventually you'll have your brick wall.
Awesome. Awesome. Thanks a lot, Manuel. Thanks a lot for the wise words and your sharing your story. And all the best with your trades from now on. It would be great to have you back again. And all the best with your, wish you all the best with your
Thank you.
trades.
Thank you so much, Tommy. I appreciate it. Thank you to Instant Funding for having me. You know what you're doing. They'll pay you out. Come to Instant Funding. Don't be scared.
Thanks. Perfect. Bye.
All right. Have a good one, Tommy. Thank you.